Hey, and welcome to the QUB, the show where I sit down with good friends and have a long, drawn-out talk about absolutely nothing. I'm your host, Why Not Tuneish, and it is finally the time I've been waiting for months on end. We're at the 100 subscriber special. Round of applause, everybody. In honor of this, 2 months ago, I opened up a poll. You guys decided that for the 100 subscriber special, you wanted an episode of the QUB with just your questions being asked. Well, we got a crap load more than I thought we would, and we're going to spend the entire episode answering each and every one. My guest for this evening, because I absolutely refuse to do any version of the show alone, I've brought him up about 30 different times on this show alone. My best friend, Mouse, everybody.
Hey guys, welcome to the first episode. That's what I was supposed to be here for, right? The first episode of the QUB?
And we're on episode 9 or 10.
No, it's the first episode. It's really weird to be doing your 100 subscriber special on episode 1, but who am I to make that call?
Oh my god. I waited for so long to do that, and then I found someone else to take your place. And then we said episode 2. And then I found someone else to take your place.
Glad to see I'm so replaceable.
On episode 6, I assume you'd be on episode 7. Bear and I spoke about that. You actually saw that episode. Oh my god. I'm sorry it's taken you so long, man. I'm glad we finally made time to do this.
Schedules and all that jazz.
But like I said, this episode's gonna work a little differently. Instead of me choosing, well, technically my guest, choosing a random number from a list of weird questions I've wrote over the last couple of years.
Number 7.
Okay, fine. I will open up number 7 and see what it is. I think Lazzy was the first person to ever do number 7. Number 7 just says Scientology.
Oh man, I don't want to talk about Scientology. All right, so let's move on to these other questions.
That's right. So over the course of the last month or so, you guys have been sending me in questions that you want me to answer on the QUB. And I've basically been not even reading them. I copy-paste them all into one document, and Mouse is going to be the first person to consciously read most of these. I do remember a couple of them that we're going to get to, but not most of them. So let's just start off. Mouse, what do we have first?
First, from Protosin on YouTube. Oh my god, congratulations. Here's my question. What inspired you to start a YouTube channel?
Okay, so first off, Protosin is a very good friend of mine. She's a small up-and-coming animated YouTuber. Kind of the likes of Jaden Animations and all those people. Guys, if you haven't yet, I want you to go check her out. Link in the description below.
So like a storytime YouTuber?
Pretty much. She's very fun, energetic, and she has a very good voice for this stuff.
I'll take your word for it.
As you're not gonna look her up.
Now, this may come as a surprise, maybe even blasphemy on a video like this, but I actually don't use YouTube.
You haven't in a while.
I think it's been nearly 2 years.
Oh god. Don't worry, I'll sit you down to... You use YouTube whenever we do, whenever we watch pilots together. That's about it.
It's your YouTube, though.
That's right. It hasn't been your YouTube in, like, a year and a half. What was her question again? What inspired me to do what?
What inspired you to start a YouTube channel?
Oh, my goodness. So, for the last few years, I have just been told that I have a really good voice for, voiceover stuff. I've always wanted to animate. I've always wanted to work with cartoons. So, a few years ago, back the first time I went through college, I decided on a whim to make an account. I'd planned to do this for like years before then. I believe you remember back in high school when I was first drafting what I would look like, what my name would be, all that stuff.
High school?
Yeah.
You mean back in middle school when you wanted to be a Minecraft YouTuber?
I do remember that. That was back when you and I got... No, that was back when I got banned from 7 different servers because you and I were stealing stuff.
Yeah, but I was too cool to ban.
You weren't too cool to ban. I did most of the work.
Sounds like I was too cool to do most of the work.
I feel like that one's a story for another time of my dark past as a Minecraft kleptomaniac. We were a heist team. I did want to be a Minecraft YouTuber. I forgot all about that, actually.
Yeah, you made me go out and find recording stuff for us, and then we never did anything about that.
Did you actually find recording stuff for us?
I mean, I used the cheap thing that everybody used. I started with Bandicam.
Yeah, that's fair. We tried at one point to make a gaming channel.
We thought about it. I don't know if we can call that a try.
I think we could call it a try. I made an effort to consistently upload, and then I lost all of my equipment.
I forgot about that.
Guys, it's pathetically embarrassing, but I'll link it in the description. I technically have a second channel called Why Not Gaming.
I think those were the last videos I ever watched on YouTube.
They might be, because the first videos we put on there was my first time running a D&D game.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Why Not Gaming is so bad it made me quit YouTube.
I didn't know how hard it would be to edit those videos. Those videos were 3.5 hours on average. And like 15 hours of those were just spent censoring swears, mostly from Noah.
Yeah, Noah's, he's a character.
He is. He's a bit of a card. Maybe we'll get him on this show one day. I feel like if I get Noah on this show, I'm going to be banned.
Nah. You're just gonna have a lot of Megalovania playing.
That was your idea.
It was a funny idea.
It was, and it's something that that's been pointed out in a lot of my episodes. Not in the comments, but of just people I know who watch them. I never thought I really thanked you for that idea for the censor bar.
I thought it was funny.
You know, we only have like half the song left.
Well, if you ever get Noah on, you'll have a lot more.
You have to come up with another song to censor people with eventually.
Well, I mean, I feel like at that point you just got to move on to another song on that album, like Spider Dance.
Sure. I'll keep censoring people forever. Why the hell not? But yeah, Proto, to answer your first question, the main reason that I was inspired to be a YouTuber was because I have always enjoyed entertaining people. I saw people like Jaden Animations, Something Else YT, Rebecca Parm, Let Me Explain Studios. Something Else YT was actually the one who kind of cemented, I want to be an animated YouTuber. Do you not know that one?
I know Jaden Animations.
You're giving me looks.
I'm like, who are these people?
Something Else YT, a guy named Adam with a red hoodie and demon horns. I won't link him to you. You won't watch. You don't use YouTube. These are all people that I mainly started watching in college.
Oh, I knew The Odd One's Out.
The Odd One's Out. He was another one. Oh, it's Alex Clark. I haven't watched his videos in a while, but he was another one.
Ice Cream Sandwich.
Ice Cream Sandwich.
I remember him. He was funny. I liked watching him back when I watched YouTube. That's, honestly, I think that's the part I miss about YouTube the most is watching his stuff specifically.
Tell you what, after the episode's over, we can go and watch a few Ice Cream Sandwich videos, huh?
If
we have time.
Yeah, maybe if we have time.
But yeah, that's question 1 done.
All right. Question 2 from Protosin on YouTube. Now, I think you're going to like this one.
Okay.
What inspired you to start your YouTube channel?
Wait, is that... Well, you see, back in high school, I remember now, she sent the first question, I put it in the doc, and then she sent a whole load more questions because I said, submit as many as you want. So those were all... She submitted multiple questions. I'm saying that right off the bat.
Now, so this is where we're going to get into the fun part of the episode, where
I
let you guys know that I will also sometimes be answering these questions because it would be really boring to be a guest here and not answer any of the questions.
Yeah, your first time finally on the show.
I know, and I don't want to just be the guy reading the script.
Mouse.
That'd be lame. All right.
What inspired you to originally want to be a YouTuber?
So, I started my YouTube channel shortly after Technically Animated started his because he used to credit me as that guy under his videos. Right? So if you ever see a video from him, I'm sure he'll be linked somewhere.
Description below. He was the guest from episode 6. Go back and watch that.
But if you look into some of his earlier videos, you'll see a credit sometimes that just says that guy. That's me.
That guy Mouse.
Yeah. So you'll see, like, I'll do voices for him occasionally. I know I did one piece where I don't remember what I did, but I appeared in the video.
I remember you doing a bad impression of Lightning McQueen.
Well, no, I was doing a bad impression of Owen Wilson doing a Lightning McQueen voice.
Wow.
Wow. But, so I started my YouTube channel because after a while, these guys were like, hey, you should start uploading some of the D&D games because I record all of the D&D games that we play. And I was like, well, I don't know if I really want to upload the D&D games, but I might try uploading the Mutants and Masterminds games because we play that occasionally.
That's right. For those who don't know, Mutants and Mastermind is basically Dungeons and Dragons, but superheroes, and you can do more.
And it works on a Roll20 system instead of, all the other dice.
Yeah.
Never ended up doing that. So there's no videos on my channel. So feel free to subscribe.
We did have plans to go back and do that eventually if we ever got set up with some good equipment.
Yeah, but with everything that's going on, I doubt it's going to be happening anytime soon.
Maybe in the next few years, though. I'm kind of hopeful for that. You run some good games.
Yeah.
I've made all of my best characters for your games, I think.
You've made all of your characters for my game.
Not entirely. I made one character for Noah's game.
Did you? Mutants and Masterminds game.
Oh, Mutants and Mastermind game. Yeah, pretty much. Even the ones that were for technically animated games. They were just ones that I didn't get to use for your games.
Except Miles. I think Miles got made for his game. Actually, now that I think
That's
about
right. That's right. Mini Miles, the clinically insane multiple personality disorder guy, Miles, who was able to split into different versions of himself who had different powers.
But all with the same personality.
Which was, he was a lazy asshole. Who constantly fought with himself.
And ate a lot of sandwiches.
He ate a lot of sandwiches.
Like Reuben amounts of sandwiches.
Yes. That's right. They all made their own sandwich because none of them could grasp that they weren't. They all thought they were the original Miles for some reason. And every sentence ended with them fighting with each other and saying, "Shut up, Miles."
I did enjoy that game. I'm sad it didn't go very much further.
Oh, me too. My favorite part was that one of the people on our team was a homeless man who could control the ocean.
Yeah, that was something.
He chose to be homeless.
He did. I will say, getting back to the question, part of the reason that I did actually eventually accept their request. Now, you'd mentioned before that in some of your videos and while you were at college, people would tell you that you had a good voice for voiceovers and
a lot.
Doing like radio and stuff. I have been told by several people that I have a great voice for ASMR.
I feel like I've brought that up before. No, we've discussed it on 2 occasions. And both times it creeped me out.
I mean, I could see it.
I could. You have a very relaxing voice, I can say that.
I think that it's very relaxing. I spent a lot of time trying to make it a very relaxing tone.
Yeah. You are the most easygoing person I know, I think.
I try really hard.
Which is weird because you could probably kill me.
Well, now. Anyways, I think it's about time we get to question number 3.
Let's do it.
Protosin on YouTube asks, how did you pick your channel name / podcast name?
Okay, those are 2 very good questions. So, channel name is easy. It's just a production company for Why Not Tuneish. That's very simple, you know? I think I got that idea from Let Me Explain Studios. It just needed to be, this is my production area, because I knew I probably wasn't just going to do animated videos. I mean, look at my channel. I haven't done mostly animated videos. It's mostly speed arts, which I stopped doing at some point.
I mean, speed arts are kind of hard.
They are, and they're hard to get viewers for. I started getting a lot more viewers when I made this show. Where I got the name for the podcast, though, that goes back to the original concept. Now, I didn't think I was going to do this podcast until I first started at my new college. And we went down to the makerspace area at the library, wherein I found a large black box that they had built for people doing recordings, mainly for a podcasting class.
A podcasting class?
There is a podcasting class.
Who needs a class on how to do a podcast?
I have no idea, but I wish I had time to take it.
You need a class on how to make a podcast.
I mean, do you think I do?
I mean, I only watched one of your episodes.
I thought of it as an easy A. I don't think I need. Maybe, I don't know. But I got in there with one of my classmates. I don't remember his name anymore. I'm sorry, whoever you were, if you're watching. But I sat down with him and we started talking about a random topic. Just like, I feel like I could do a podcast, you know? Just, I'd ask the most random of questions. Like, what would it be, if it rained cheese? Would it be liquid cheese or blocks of cheese? Or no. The question was, what would it be worse to rain, fish or cheese?
Definitely fish.
Okay, but what if it's not liquid cheese? What if you're driving around and a giant 50-pound wheel of Gouda smashes your car?
Well, now hear me out. They did basically the same thing in Planet 51, where it rained rocks.
Oh, right.
Just actual rocks.
Just actual rocks.
They managed to get by just fine. So I think we'd manage.
Yeah, but those were baseball-sized rocks.
You don't know what kind of material those rocks were made out of.
Are you assuming that at some point it started raining boulders during a thunderstorm?
Are you assuming that those rocks aren't dense?
Fair enough, I guess. I'll take that. I'll concede to that. But I remember specifically, I told him that it was going to have the dumbest name possible. So that it would get attention but be very confusing, you know? It'd be like something along the lines of The Room, but spelled with zeros and a Q somewhere for some reason. Or The Cube, but, spelled with an X and a 3.
Or The Cube, spelled with zeros and a Q somewhere.
QUB3 is what I ended up landing on. And the design of my cube is actually loosely based on the design of that actual recording booth. That's actually where I recorded episodes 1 through 6.
Yeah, I think you told me that, actually.
Yeah, I was planning on getting you into there. That was before I made my actual recording booth in my home.
It's cramped in here.
Very. There's hardly any room, and it's very warm.
Yeah, and I take up a lot of space. Not just because I like taking up space.
Yeah, you're... So there you go. I do kind of regret the name The Cube, because I feel like it's harder to find, but it is very unique, and I like that.
All right, so on to question 4, also from Protosin on YouTube. What's your favorite part about making a video?
The recording.
Yeah, that seemed pretty on the spot.
I'm sorry, but it takes me, I've mapped it out, 13 straight hours on average to edit one of these videos. I like getting to sit down with people. I like the fun we have in between it. It's mentally draining editing it, which is why I'm actually looking for an editor. I'm actually auditioning people to do so right now.
Yeah, I do believe you mentioned that.
Yeah, maybe by the time this episode... I hope not by the time this episode comes out, because that means it took me way too long. I want this to be out, on around New Year's.
I mean, that would be nice.
In the comments, tell me if I got it right.
So, we're going to move on to question 5 from Protosin on YouTube. Would you ever be interested in doing YouTube full-time?
Absolutely.
Tell you what, I wouldn't.
Why not?
Look, I get it, and I think that the idea sounds fun, initially.
Yeah.
But I could never do just YouTube.
Yeah, I feel like you could have a side job, or maybe a hobby.
Well, because here's my options if I did something like YouTube. I know you would do YouTube full time. You have a blast doing this kind of thing.
I like entertaining people.
And if you had the money to do this full time, you could just hire an editor to do the parts that you don't like about it.
You know I would. I have 4 other shows I want to make, and I can't yet because this takes up so much time.
So I'm gonna take some of this question away from you.
Okay.
Because if I'm doing YouTube, right, I've got 2 good options. I either actually start uploading D&D or Mutants and Masterminds, uploads.
Or you make an ASMR roleplay channel, yeah.
Yeah, and, look, if there's a demand for it, and somebody sends me the script, maybe I'll give it a shot. But as of right now, I don't really have an interest in doing that, just as my job.
You know what? I know a good script writer for you. This is my way to rope Lazzy into this pit of hell. Lazzy's episode 7. 7? Everyone go and watch that if you haven't. But yeah, there's my answer. 100%. If it was paying me good amount of money to continue doing it, I absolutely would.
If I end up making a roleplay ASMR channel because you did this to me, I don't know if I'd be able to forgive you.
What if I wrote your scripts for you?
That would be even worse.
Do you think I can't do a good job, or does that make it uncomfortable?
No, see, because the only ASMR videos that would get me views, I would be wildly uncomfortable knowing that you wrote those for me to say.
You know what? I can understand that. That's very understandable, Mouse. let's move on.
All right, question number 6 from Protosin on YouTube asks any YouTube channels or other creators in general that you were particularly inspired by.
You know what? I felt like I listed them off earlier. Let Me Explain Studios, Something Else YT, The Odd Ones Out. It's Alex Clark. I love the animated YouTubers, obviously.
I'm trying to come up with like a joke YouTuber to like throw in there, but I don't watch YouTube, so
Yay! I'm not humiliated. But no, I wish I could do storytime YouTuber videos. My life isn't that interesting.
I don't know. You could tell them about that time you got punched in the face by the guy.
You're not telling that story.
I thought it was particularly entertaining.
He didn't break my nose. I just had a really bad nosebleed for a few hours, and because I was assaulted, I almost got suspended.
Yeah, wild how that works out. It's funny. You would not believe the amount of people who just didn't like you in high school.
I would believe the amount of people who didn't like me in high school. I don't believe the amount of people who supposedly did.
Because, like,
I was very pick-onable.
I knew a lot of people who would, like, you were somebody that people would talk about when they didn't even know that people that you knew were around. Because I remember walking into a conversation that some people were having where they would just make up stuff too. Like,
yeah.
It was really funny because there was I walked into them telling a story about how basically everybody in band class just would take turns hitting you for no particular reason. And I was like, I don't think that's true.
In my defense, I busted a drug selling thing.
Yeah, I do remember people talking about that.
I
People were very unhappy.
I busted someone for selling drugs on campus. That did not win me any points.
It actually lost you a lot of points.
It did. She got suspended.
That's rough.
No, not suspended. She got expelled.
Oh, even more rough. Who was it?
I don't remember her name.
Fair enough.
We're going to call her Kelly.
Kelly?
Casey.
Sandra.
We're going with Sandra. I actually ran into her at a McDonald's about a year later. That little half snicker you just gave. Yes, I fully understand that. She did not care. Oh my goodness.
All right. It's been 30 minutes. We're moving on to question 7.
Oh my goodness.
What is your favorite TV show? Asked by Protosin on YouTube. Also wondering, and your least favorite TV show and why? That's 3 questions.
Yeah. My most favorite TV show, you know this one.
Do I?
You do. In fact, I've demanded you watch it about 40 million times.
Kim Possible.
No!
It was codenamed Kids Next Door.
And we have an agreement that when we're finally old and in a retirement home, I get to sit him down and force him to watch the entire series.
Where I will pull the funniest joke known to man and die during the theme song of the first episode.
You'll die during the opening credits of the pilot. No pee in the ool. Oh, that'll be your final screw you.
And it'll be my funniest joke.
I will respect it. I will respect it. I want you to know. I'll be sad that my friend died. Mad that you waited till now to drop dead. But I will respect the joke. And it will be a story I tell at your eulogy. Go up there and push your son out of the way. No, kid, I've got this. Oh my goodness. My least favorite TV show. You know what? That's a hard one.
Family Guy.
No, I'm sad to say I've binged that series 3 times through. You know what? It's going to lose me probably a bunch of fans, but right now, anyone who already watches my show knows this opinion of me. I do not like Hazbin Hotel. I loved it in the pilot.
I want it to be known that I didn't like Hazbin Hotel before it was cool.
You really didn't. You kind of enjoyed the pilot a little. It had its points.
Well, so here's the thing. I liked when they were putting out small clips from the pilot. And then they released the pilot, and I was like, I don't really like it anymore.
Nah. That's fair enough. There's some mental thing about that, I forget. But no, the writing is sloppy. The character development isn't that great. I never really liked most of the main characters. I liked Alistair because he was the only one who had his head on straight, despite the fact that he was a psychopathic serial killer. And then he proceeds to be wrong, which kind of throws the entirety of the plot line and stakes out the window. I don't respect the writing. If there's one thing I can give it, the music is always going to be phenomenally written.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Vivzy Pop was a musician who wanted to be a show writer.
Yeah, and she succeeded.
She made good music.
She did.
And
she made very, very good music.
And she made a C+ show.
I give it a solid D+.
I give it a C+ because you can't attract that big of a fan base without it being at least half decent to somebody.
No, it's half decent to our target audience. That target audience just doesn't include me. I was tangentially related to said target audience because I was an animation nerd. If I could say one thing, though, I will always listen to anything Black Griffin, the original singing voice for Alistair, anything he puts out. I don't care how much I don't like the show. I can't stop listening to that man's voice. It is a God-given gift.
Separate the art from the artist.
Exactly. Even when the artist makes a lot of great Alistair songs.
But
Daisy's was amazing.
So we're going to move on to question 8. You're going to have some fun with this one because it'll go by real quick. Show us some old artwork. Here you go.
Okay. There's a couple things I can at least reference putting up on screen. Here's my old FNAF stuff from back when I did all of my art in Google Art. You remember that?
I remember a decent amount of it, yeah.
Here's an early concept sketch of a character called Wacky Wilton, who you guys saw in one of, if not my very first YouTube video.
Oh, you gotta make everybody suffer and show that kid who got lost in the Five Nights at Freddy's restaurant.
You remember that?
Yeah, I hated that guy. I really did not like that one.
That is your least favorite drawing of mine ever.
It is. It really is.
Back before we knew what the Bite of 87 was, I drew this guy who got lost, had his frontal lobe bitten off, and spent the next 40 years barely living in a Five Nights at Freddy's restaurant. Here's the original version of the Devil's Chimp, whose speed art I'll link below. Flash it on screen now. There he is.
Oh, you should show my speed art. The one for you did for Mouse.
Oh, I thought you meant a speed art you made. And I'm just like, you don't draw.
No, that was about me, though.
You can't draw.
That's so rude of you, actually. I'm supposed to be the mean one.
I know, but you're my best friend. It's my job to be mean. But yeah, I do all the art for that guy Mouse.
Yeah, did all the art.
Did all the art before I got busy with school. You always paid me. Is there anything else I can throw up there? For good measure, here's the Okakate. You remember the Okakate?
I vaguely remember it, yeah.
I had to redesign her at one point. She doesn't look horrific anymore. She just looks like a bad doodle. And that's all my old artwork that you're going to see.
Yeah, I was about to say, not all of it. You have a lot of it.
I have a lot. It's
all. You know what? One more. A classic. The Mexican jumping bean, outlaw of Canada.
I forgot about him.
Now
that's the entirety of his character. He was a doodle I made back in middle school or something, and I loved
7th grade, I do believe.
It was 7th grade, and I liked drawing him. Mexican Bean, the Canadian outlaw. I loved it. He was just a Mexican jumping bean who wore a sombrero and played maracas.
All right, this one, question number 9 from Protosin on YouTube. Gonna get us some controversy.
Oh.
What's your hottest food-related take?
Anything can be a sandwich.
I don't know if that's a hot take. That seems to be a pretty popular one these days.
Have
you seen Earth Sandwich?
What? You can turn any food into a sandwich and it will improve it.
Yeah, so there's a trend that happened online for a little while where 2 people on opposite sides of the world would put a piece of bread on the ground at the same time.
I remember this. You shared it with me.
And it would make an Earth sandwich. So I don't know if this is a hot take anymore.
I don't know, man. Wasabi does have a taste. It's delicious, and it will always be worth the pain.
You know, I can do a hot take.
Yeah?
Frog legs are good.
I've never had them. I've always wanted to. It's on my bucket list.
Frog legs are good, and people who say that they're bad haven't had them.
No, people who say they're bad are just hate the French.
I don't know if that's a French dish.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yeah. Either that or cartoons have lied to me.
I mean, I don't know if it's a specifically French dish.
The only time you ever hear anything about frog's legs, it's in relation to France.
I don't know.
That's also where the you remember the old racist salmonella joke. You know, we're calling French people frogs.
No, we called them frogs for different reasons.
Oh, my bad. Well.
That's just you being racist.
Oh, well. That's why not doesn't know anything. I say it's a French dish. Diss. That's a French diss for a French dish.
No, let's look it up real quick.
You're gonna look. Okay,
Frog
fine.
legs origin.
The frog.
Huh, you're right. It is France.
Yay! Cartoons don't lie to me.
Sometimes.
Most of the time. I've learned way too much from cartoons. But all of it has been true that I've actually learned.
That's interesting, though, because the only place I've ever had frog legs are Chinese buffets.
Do you know of any French buffets?
Back to Google.
Don't. We are halfway through the usual episode's runtime, and we're a fifth of the way.
Not even.
Remember when you said this was going to take an hour?
I said it would take an hour if you took a minute per question.
Yeah. And I said there was no way I'd be able to take a minute per question.
Speaking of questions, question number 10 from Protosin on YouTube. If you had to listen to one song on repeat forever, what would it be? Can I kill myself?
Am I allowed to die prematurely? I'll tell you this, it has to be something with a groove. And it has to be something probably cheerful, because if I have to listen to that on repeat, you have to remember, I live with Spotify on pretty much 24/7.
You know what? I know a song that you could do on repeat forever.
What?
I think it's called the Transcendental Cha-Cha-Cha.
I actually almost put that in my in one of my radio show episodes for indie music.
Yeah, I think you could listen to that one on repeat.
It does change up a lot. It's easier to listen to than most things.
Yeah.
But anything that I have to listen to on repeat every single day, because it's going to be every single day. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to make it easier on myself. It's going to affect me and probably drive me to kill people if it's like a more serious song, you know?
You know, that brings up the question: what counts as a song in this scenario? Because if I found like a 40-minute long piano piece,
oh, right, it's longer and takes less time. It takes more time to damage you.
Well, not only that, but like if it's a 40-minute long piano piece, I doubt you're gonna realize that it's repeating very often.
I think song implies it. I think song in this instance has to imply that it's it has lyrics.
Well, that's not
because
the case,
otherwise it's an orchestral score.
Moonlit Sonata is a song, and that's only piano.
I guess 40-minute piano music works then. I can't find a way to argue that. I like that.
So, moving on, we have Protosin on YouTube asking what your least favorite internet trend is. Least favorite? How? I gotta ask. Because, like, if we go least favorite, like, I thought it was the worst. Probably the Tide Pod challenge. That one was pretty bad.
I don't know.
But I thought it was
selection.
really funny that people were actually doing it.
I was morbidly entertained by the fact that they were. If man so desires, let him dig his own grave. You know what? I'm not sure it was a trend. I hated the Big Chungus meme. I think
memes could count as a trend. What did you not like about Big Chungus, huh?
I feel like it was the fact that it was relevant for the first time in 80 years, almost exactly 80 years. It was...
There's a lot of memes like that, though.
But it was 3 seconds long, and it got old very fast. I love Bugs Bunny in all iterations. I got sick of Big Chungus so fast. I got sick of... I can tell you the internet trend I hated the most.
Oh?
Anything related to Harambe.
I thought Harambe was funny.
I hated Harambe. I'm with Max G on this. I wish this gorilla I wish that kid had never fallen into the zoo, so I never would have had to hear about it 14 times a day for 3 years. I hated that gorilla by month 1. I can't tell you how irritated by Harambe memes I got. No, Harambe is on there.
Let's see. If I had to say worst internet trend that I hated it. Blue Lobster. I hated that one.
I don't remember Blue Lobster.
So there was a trend that went around for a while. So you know, like Rick Rolls, right?
Yeah.
So Rick Rolls evolved over time.
Yeah.
You know, we had Rick Rolls, then we had like the stick bug. I don't know if you ever saw that one.
I did see stick bug. Get stick bugged.
There's been a couple of other ones that you know, they would show up, they would die pretty quickly. Blue Lobster showed up, and then it like stuck around for a minute. And I gotta say, I hated that one the most.
I just remembered mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise?
It just goes, mayonnaise on an escalator going up top, so see ya later. That always cracked me up. Moving on.
Moving right along to question number 12 from Protosin on YouTube.
We're going to run out of Protosin soon, I promise.
What's the funniest thing that's happened to you lately? Me.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what it is. Mouse somehow makes me laugh more than most people.
I'm funny. I can't...
It's fun to bounce things off of you.
I'm very good at that.
Yeah. You're very good at catching things with your face.
That's rude. That's just rude.
I make myself laugh most of the time.
I think you're just upset I'm prettier than you.
You look like Wolverine's unshaven son.
No, that's also rude.
Oh, I just remembered a really old bit I had with you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was like on your deathbed. No, on my deathbed, if I die first, I motion you to come closer to me as I'm reaching for my last breath. And I just look you in the eye, my best friend, and said, "You look like an emo possum," and die.
That is an old bit.
That is an old one. Not quite as old as the loaf of bread one.
Yeah, that one was pretty funny.
Well,
I don't know if that counts as lately, though.
No, we'll get to that later. I'm sure of it.
So, going to question number 13, Unlucky. Protosin on YouTube asks, if you were cast in a movie, would you be the protagonist or villain? And why? And what type? You'd be comedic relief.
I feel like that's a given in any situation. If I'm the hero or the villain, I am the comic relief character. I've said that since I was like 12. I am always everyone's comic relief character.
Now, you said you're going to try and get this out by New Year's, so maybe this reference won't be dated by then.
Okay.
But if you were in a movie, I think you'd come out a lot like how Bumblebee did in Transformers 1.
Yeah.
I know you haven't seen that movie, but...
I saw it with you like a month ago.
No, you didn't, because it was...
Oh, wait, you mean the animated Transformers? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you meant Transformers 1, not Transformers 1.
Yeah. Transformers 1, the animated movie that came out a few months ago.
Yeah.
Because Bumblebee, I think he counts as a protagonist in that one, but he is largely there for comedic relief, and he actually does give to the plot instead of just being there to laugh at. So I think you could manage to do that kind of protagonist pretty well.
I'm probably not the main character, but I am very integral to the plot. Now, there's a very easy way for me to be cast as the villain, however. I scare people a lot, apparently.
You'd be the villain from Strange Magic.
Oh, that movie sucked.
Dude, I saw somebody defending that movie.
Do you remember when we saw it on your birthday when you were like 12?
Worst birthday ever.
I saw they were opening up the scene. We were 4 minutes in. I lean over to Mouse and say, "Bet you anything, this ends with the villain falling in love with the main character."
Spoilers, dude.
Yeah. You're just like, nah.
You can't tell them that. That movie came out 12 years ago. What if they haven't seen it yet?
No one wants to see it. Strange Magic sucked.
Magic Bear did not believe me when I told him that the ads for that show or ads for that movie were misleading.
Really?
He did. I had to show him the ad that I saw.
To be fair, Magic Bear doesn't believe anything absurd we tell him. But no, if they feel like I'd be good for it, I'd have to be a comedic villain. I've said this before.
I just don't think you could do villain very well.
I feel like I could be a very good psychotic presence.
I think you could do henchman.
Oh. I'll be henchman 21. I'll take henchman 21.
That was the fat one, right?
Yes.
I think you could do the skinny one better.
You think I could be 24?
Yeah, I think you'd do 24 better.
The color 12. I sound like him.
Yeah, because then you die.
I die having accomplished nothing. You suck. Moving on.
Well, no, now you gotta... What do you think I would do?
What do you think? What do I think you would be in a movie?
Yeah, go ahead.
You look like a villain, and you have the morals of a hero. What do you think? It's hard.
I think I could do villain. I think villain would probably be the more likely scenario.
You have the look of a villain.
One of those villains that, like, you like as they go, you kind of get what their point is.
Wait, the villain people say was right all along? That's you?
Well, no, I'm not Hitler.
Come on! That is not okay here.
I think that fit the situation. I've been holding back this whole time.
Yeah. Moving on.
And still, from Protosin on YouTube, number 14. On that note, what's your favorite movie?
This has 3 different answers.
Give me answer number 3.
Now, answer number 3?
Yeah.
Going Out in Style.
That one was a pretty good movie.
I really loved that movie.
Yeah. I should watch it again sometime.
I want to watch it now.
Well,
Wasn't Michael Caine the star of that movie?
I mean, him, Morgan Freeman, one other old guy.
I forget his name. I forget. I feel bad for that, but they were very good in that movie. First heist movie I ever saw all the way through.
Really?
Really? I didn't realize that until after I finished. We saw that on my birthday years back.
That was your birthday, wasn't it?
That was my birthday. I brought you, me, and Casey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you had to bring yourself.
I miss Casey.
Casey was a fun guy.
Casey, buddy, if you're out there, why aren't you watching my show? He's somewhere in Washington right now.
Yeah, wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not going to answer that one.
Fair enough.
So, changing things up a bit.
What is your answer?
I don't have a favorite movie.
Is your answer the clip of JFK getting assassinated?
No, that's rude. That's Noah's favorite movie.
Okay, moving on.
So, changing it up a bit, we have at Mitchell Scullis 870 on YouTube.
I think I remember. I think he's the guy I go to college with. Yeah.
Not entirely sure what this question is referring to, but worst season and why?
I think it just means the season.
Oh.
Summer, winter, fall.
Really?
Yes. If there's no show, I feel like it's the worst season is obviously season 3, episode 2. I don't think
episode
I have to
2 isn't
why.
a season, you dingus. It's an episode. We didn't ask for your least favorite episode.
Season 17 really fell flat. You know what? Nowadays, summer. I love having time off. I hate being warm.
I understand, but for a different reason. I also don't like summer, but that's because I'm tired of all the bugs.
Fair. That's very fair.
They are a pain, and also my room has no insulation.
I'm so sorry. But no, I've mentioned this. I've made the show 4 times on this channel already, I think. If it's cold, I just put on more clothes. If it's hot, there's only so many clothes I can take off before it's a felony. But yeah, summer.
So, going on to question 16 from Crony Destiny on email.
The only guy who...
Email.
I did say you could email these questions to me at whynottuneish@gmail.com. One person did.
Wild.
Really? Isn't it?
What a specimen.
Buddy, if you're out there, you win a prize. You win a shout out.
Most unique question submittance.
Yeah, you win most unique question submittance.
As I can tell by your references and channel, I can tell you've been on YouTube for a while now. So, from when you first discovered the internet and now, what changed the most and what stayed the same?
You know what? I think when I first discovered YouTube, it was a while before I did, I'll be honest. I'm pretty sure I was like 12 or so. I was 11. I was 10 or 11 and I was using the school computers. So it already looked very different because they had that blocking stuff on there, you know?
Yeah.
It's very different. I didn't understand what YouTube was for when I first found it. I think my intro to YouTube, like most kids our age, would have been Gangnam Style.
Well, my intro to YouTube was... Now, I'm not entirely sure, but I believe it was a Beijing Canadian video.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Now, I'm not entirely sure about it. It might have been a Jerome ASMF video.
Isn't it fun how he became one of the biggest YouTubers? He became the Minecraft YouTuber.
For a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. It's impressive.
But if I had to say what's changed the most, probably Flash getting, like, the axe.
Oh, yeah. A lot of great Flash stuff just went down.
Another thing that changed? All the Minecraft YouTubers are sexual predators now.
That was unpleasant. you remember the main group we watched? There's very few predators in there. There was one. There was one predator in the main group we watched. We won't bring him up. But everyone else just had depressing careers. And I can say how all of them ended. I actually, when MatPat first decided to quit YouTube, like when he announced it a year ago.
It's been a year?
It has been a year.
I didn't watch the video. I just heard.
But yeah, he planned to do it in like a few months. And then he didn't. But no, after that point, I started really studying YouTube's history. And there's actually been 3 main waves. The first one was the birth of the platform, of course, where people were just uploading whatever they wanted. All the way from my trip to the zoo to whatever we had at the end. The second age of YouTube was where people were starting to really get creative with it. They saw, oh, I can use this to do whatever I want, which saw the rise of the first YouTube star, Fred. We all remember Fred.
Was he the first?
He was the first YouTube star, right behind Smosh. Not right behind Smosh, right in front of Smosh. Flip it, reverse it. He hit a major milestone before they ever did. They were next. I believe he was the first one to hit 10,000. They were the first to hit 100,000.
Smosh used to be number 1 for a while.
It was.
Like a long while.
Then there was the third age of YouTube, wherein we get to where we are now. Where it's
There's
just...
one more.
What's that?
Because you forgot the age of gaming.
No, the age of gaming I include in the third age. Because that's when people are starting to do this professionally. They're uploading consistently. They want to make a career out of this. They want to be YouTuber celebrities.
Anybody who does YouTube would disagree. Because there is a clear separation from the age of gaming to what the current age is.
Are you counting mainly walkthroughs?
No, I'm counting playthroughs, walkthroughs, people who played just for fun. YouTube no longer really pushes the gaming system like they used to.
You know what? I will concur on that. Okay, yeah, third age of YouTube was the age of gaming. Fourth age of YouTube is when we're mainly getting YouTube celebrities. People who are famous because of YouTube that aren't just playing games. And we're actually currently entering the fourth age of YouTube where we're not sure what we're going to see now.
Fifth?
No, yeah, thank you, fifth. The fifth age of YouTube where we're not sure what we're going to see now. Because a lot of the YouTubers who've been here for a good while are quitting. And they're not coming back. They're retiring, which is fair. You got to retire at some point.
They deserve to if they have the money for it.
Exactly.
And can't afford to.
Exactly. They're all doing other stuff now, and I'm happy that they got that chance. I'm not sure what the fourth age will bring, but I'm very impressed by how far this site has gone.
I couldn't tell you. Don't watch YouTube anymore.
Moving right along.
So, number 17 by Isaiah Daniel on Instagram.
That is a good friend of mine who follows the team I work for, the Sommerfelds. Go check them out.
So my question is, what or who gave you the idea to start all this? Do I get to take credit for this one?
You kind of did help with that.
I remember telling you that I thought the podcast idea was a good idea.
You did. You thought it was a good idea at the right time, at the height of when podcasts are becoming a big thing.
Maybe that's what the current age of YouTube is.
The age of podcasts?
Because I know a lot of people use YouTube for podcasts.
I really hope it's the age of podcasts. I have a chance. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I'll give you the credit for that. You were the one who gave me the push.
Yeah, I gave you the push. I'm not going to say I gave you the idea.
No.
You wanted to do a podcast forever.
I did. I thought it'd be fun. I thought it'd be neat. I thought I could keep a conversation going.
But you were stopping your speed arts because you were getting too busy for it, but you still wanted to upload something. Gaming was taking a large toll on you.
Yeah.
So you were like, hey, I'm thinking about starting a podcast. What do you guys think? And I was like, you know what? It's probably going to be better than what you've got going on.
Yeah, because no one watched my speed arts. And that's fair. I didn't make anything trendy.
I watched your speed arts.
You did, and I appreciate it. You don't watch the Cube, and you actively told me to.
Unfortunately, you did speed arts in a time where I watched YouTube and did the Cube during a time where I don't.
Fair enough. But yeah, you know what? You get credit for that. You've done that with a lot of projects I've started.
I'm an ideas guy.
You are, and you're always good for like telling me the odds, which does help me.
I like to think that I am pretty intelligent when it comes to that matter.
You are, and I appreciate you for that.
So, next question, number 18 from Super Retro Productions on Instagram.
Before you get into that, I have to explain who this guy is. Super Retro Productions. He's a guy who watches a lot of my videos. He is also the #1 fan on Instagram. Not of me. He is just the #1 fan. Also the #1 fan artist. He's known for his major sketchbooks, which he releases constantly online, showing fan arts of his favorite creators. And he includes a lot of people. If there's one guy who's everyone's cheerleader, it's him. Shout out to him. Also linking him in the description below.
Who or what inspired you to draw, and what got you into animating? Now, I think I might be able to do that second part.
Yeah?
Because I remember you said that you wanted to get into animating back when we first started coming up with show ideas.
That's right. I've always wanted to work with cartoons. That's something you can't really trace back to anything.
Well, you can trace it back to your obsession with cartoons.
Yes. I was raised on cartoons. I deeply enjoy cartoons. I love breaking the boundaries with cartoons. I've always wanted to do something with them. Back in middle school, Mouse and I decided one day we wanted to create shows together. And we've actually created a good few pilot scripts together. Mouse has created more pilot scripts by himself.
I really enjoy screenwriting.
You are very good at screenwriting.
I like to think that I am.
Yeah.
That's about all that can go to, because the only people I've shown my screenwriting to are not people who could really give me a professional opinion on the matter.
No. You have shown it to me, and I can give you a...
Leland.
I can give you a... Leland. Leland was our professor when we went to college together. I wish I could link him somewhere. His nickname was Doc, and I absolutely adored his class.
It's really funny. He did not go by that nickname when I had his class.
I don't know why. Everyone called him Doc.
Yeah, I think that was just a thing that happened the next year or so.
Probably. But I wrote my absolute best script in that class, and it was because you pushed me to write that script.
I'm good at that.
That was Doc. That was Doc's script. Doc is a character I used to draw all the time on my Instagram account. Haven't in a while.
Well, you also did your YouTube speed arts for him.
Yeah, I did a few of those. I don't have a reason why I don't draw him anymore. That doesn't have an answer.
Well, you don't draw him anymore because he died.
Yeah, he did not die. He died in my art.
But he also died in your show.
He did. The beginning of the script, Doc dies.
Yeah, that's not exactly a spoiler. This is like opening scene, he's dead.
The opening scene opens on his corpse.
So
that's not even us making a bit. The opening scene of my first great pilot script, my main character is dead.
Which I think was a good way to open.
You know what? It was clever. One day, I deeply hope to get the chance to be able to release that. That's what I'm working towards right now. All of this, if I get big enough, if you guys help and support enough, I will be getting a team together to produce that script. It's called Second Run, and the only information you get about it is that the opening scene, my main character is already dead.
Well, I'll give you one more piece of information. I did create one of the characters that were in that show.
You created one of the main characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm very happy for that.
He's a cool character.
If you want to see any other information about it, the intro sequence, the drafted intro sequence I originally made back in college for it, is on my channel. Flash it up on screen now.
You made my character have an outline very similar to like toffee or gummy goo.
I remember you saying toffee was a good reference point.
He was a good reference for like...
I did not know what I was doing.
Yeah, it was... I don't want to... Anyways. Give me 1 second.
Does it surprise you that we're not halfway through and the episode runtime for our usual stuff is already over?
No, it doesn't surprise me one bit, actually. So, we have number 19 from Mike and Chris of Indecision Illustration.
Love these guys. They make a multiversal comic strip that I absolutely love. Read every issue. I want to show up in one of their comics one day.
I did get that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Indecision Illustration. Great guys, live in England. Freaking love them.
British.
Yeah.
On Instagram, question mark emoji.
Yeah.
What are your favorite sounds? Question mark.
Excuse me.
What are your favorite sounds?
I love the sound of rain hitting my window at night. It's very deeply relaxing. I like the sound of a nice winter breeze.
I like the sound of the voices shutting up.
I like it when the voices in my head shut up. Damn. Just throwing that one out there, huh?
Thought it was funny.
Okay. I like the sound of glass shattering.
I'm trying to think. I really am.
That's a hard one. Guys,
Nope,
you gave me a very difficult one to answer. Props to you. That's very different.
All right. Now I have an answer, but this one's going to take some explaining.
Of course it is.
All right. So technically speaking, my favorite sound is the sounds of bones breaking. And I want to make sure that I am clear about this. This is not a bit.
Okay,
But,
explain yourself to the FBI.
so I came across this by cracking crab shells, which are technically bones, and make about the same sound, according to the nurse that I was sitting next to. But
she looks at you worryingly as you have a giant smile on your face, cracking skeletal bone.
But I'm sitting there at a dinner table, and I'm cracking crab legs. I am about 15 or 16 years old. And I'm cracking them, and I go, this is the most satisfying sound I have ever heard. And the nurse and her family just look at me, and one of them goes, you know that's the sound of bones breaking, right? And I was like, huh. Sounds bad when you say it like that.
This is why you are the villain.
I can't help it.
I mean, it's satisfying because you're breaking through something you want to break through to get something good.
Oh no, I would just break like the bone pieces after I was done.
You can't let me defend you, can you?
No, I'm gonna be real. This one's one of those times where I'm just a monster. I don't know.
Your introduction to my channel, and you're moving on.
The next question, also from Mike and Chris of Indecision
Illustration.
Look, they made it a tongue twister on purpose. I just know it. This was a slight against me personally.
We have to name it Indecision Illustration, so one day some on YouTube has trouble.
Question mark emoji.
Yeah.
What sounds do you hate?
I feel like there's some pretty standard ones.
Chewing.
Yes.
I don't know anybody who doesn't hate that sound.
I don't like mouth noises. They make me deeply uncomfortable.
Noah does not realize it, but there are occasions when we're eating, because we work in the same building.
Yeah.
And we take the same lunch break.
Yeah.
There are times where I don't think he realizes that he chews with his mouth open.
Ew. I never noticed that either. That's disgusting.
He only does it like occasionally. This isn't like a conscious thing that he does ever. It's like he's feeling particularly lax, I guess. But I remember there being a day where he was doing it like a lot. And I was like, dude, you have to stop that.
Oh, I have a good answer. So I've seen it. This goes around every few months or so. There's this noise test that I scroll past on Instagram every few months, okay?
Gross.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's this single tone that just plays. And it says, your thoughts are now silent.
No, my thoughts are now very loud ringing noises because you set off my tinnitus.
Yeah, it's just something that's just, it's not even that. It's just like, but very tonal. It's not a person. It's like a machine. And it goes on there for like 20 seconds. And I'll just sit there and I'll get so enraged. Like it's not even enraged. It's just, I feel scared and uncomfortable. I don't like it, and I can't explain why. I choose to chalk it up to autism because I have no other explanation. I hate it. Yeah, I don't have any thoughts in that time for some reason. I don't like
Other
that.
than rage.
Yeah. Like, why did you make me sit through this? I don't like it. I'm deeply unnerved. That is my least favorite sound. I can't find it, and I won't look for it. I won't edit it into the video either.
My ears are very sensitive to high-pitched noises.
Yeah?
So if you were to make a very high-pitched noise, I hurt physically. So I guess that would be my least favorite sound.
An evil part of me wants to get a bat for a pet now.
No, not that kind. Like fork on plate, or like nails on chalkboard,
or rub. Like, I can hear it in my head.
Like it. Most people, they'll like recoil from the sound.
Yeah.
I feel like physical pain.
Oh, that's an interesting one. You can feel sound.
I can feel high-pitched sound and I can feel low-pitched sound.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that's a medical disorder.
Well, it's not bad enough for me to need it checked out, so I haven't done that, and I won't.
Fair enough, I guess. More power to you.
Okay, so next, question number 21, also from Mike and Chris of Indecision Illustration.
You got it right that time.
Third time's the charm.
I was waiting on you to fail.
So rude to me.
You're my best friend. I pick at you because I care about you.
If you could have any full-time job other than your current roles, what would it be?
My current roles are I'm a freelance cameraman for ESPN Plus for like sporting events on campus.
Looks good on a resume.
It really does. I'm a retail sales associate.
Looks less good on a resume.
It does. I can say I'm not cool enough yet for it to be a problem. If I am, then I actually work for Tractor Supply.
I think that made you sound a lot less cool, actually.
I always sound less cool. I don't know one person who thinks I am really cool. And I do YouTube as a hobby. If I could do one thing,
I don't know if YouTube counts until you get a paycheck.
You know what? That's true. I need I need a little under 900 more subscribers for it to be a job.
Yep.
A buddy of mine got that recently. I'll link him in the description below. If I could have one full-time job, I'd like to go back to our original plans and make shows together.
Shows would be nice.
I'd hire you on immediately.
That would be really nice. I'd love to get out of my current job.
You work at a meat processing factory. Every day he complains about it, and I feel bad.
Nothing you can do about it.
It really isn't. They were hiring. You had to take it.
I needed a job.
You did. No one needed a job, and his temp agent said, hey, you know where you should work?
I blame Noah, actually, for me having this job. I was like, hey, I need a job. And he was like, hey, you know where you should work?
I'm really glad I never said to you specifically, hey, Mouse, I need a job.
You wouldn't have made it.
I really wouldn't have. I would have hated every moment of it, and I would have quit that day.
And you'd only have been the 4 millionth guy to do so.
What would your answer be?
Oh,
I want you to answer it.
What would I do? Current?
Yeah, dream job. You can have it right now.
Dream job, I want to own a production studio that produces its own networking channel.
That is radical.
I feel like if I were able to produce shows on a channel, look, maybe this is a hot take, but I feel like a lot of the cartoons that are being put out these days are mindless drivel.
Yeah, they have problems.
And I think I could solve that. I think I've got ideas that if I could get the right people to work for me, I could actually make good cartoons again.
That starts with networking.
It does start with networking. I'll be sure to see how many people I know in this field in my meat processing job.
That starts with being online.
My networking right now consists of you and technically animated.
Technically, I'm decent at networking with people.
Yeah. So when you get in, I'm pretty much gonna ride your coattails.
I don't mind. I rode your coattails through high school. We're trading. Next question.
Next question, number 22 from Christoyer11 on Instagram. What is the meaning of life?
I have no idea who that is. If I know you and like we're good friends, please remind me. I don't remember your username. The meaning of life? You want to know the meaning of life? The color 12.
You're cracking yourself up with that one.
It's a good bit.
Let him compose himself for a minute.
All right. Enough BSing. The answer to life, of course, is the number 42.
Yeah, everybody knows this.
Everyone knows.
It's kind of strange that you had to ask, if
right?
I'm being honest. I feel like this was a trick question. I feel like they knew, they just wanted to make sure we knew.
Exactly. It's 42.
It's 42.
It's 42. Next question.
Question number 23. Sime draw?
See me draw.
See me draw.
Good friend of mine. I've plugged him once more on this show. Link in the description.
I wanted to say see me draw, but I just didn't. I was not
confident.
No.
It is so understandable that in all of his descriptions, there's a little window next to it that says pronounced see me. No, it is understandable. He would understand.
Any thoughts of doing spin-offs of the Cube? What would a spin-off of the Cube be?
I remember this conversation. We had this early on before he knew I was doing a subscriber special. So there are actually people that I would dearly love to have on this show. And I can't because of how I rated this show. There's a lot of people who create borderline or just straight up NSFW art that I'd love to hang out with because they're actually really cool people. But that means I can't talk pretty much anything about their work. As much as I'd like to, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think there's going to be a Cube After Dark version where I just don't censor anything and have no rules about humiliating anyone or insulting anyone. It'd be like a Saturday Night Live. That's the wrong show. What show am I thinking of? Am I thinking of anything?
Adult Swim?
Sure. It'll be the Adult Swim equivalent of Why Not Productions, but I don't think that's happening. Another one would probably be a shorter form series, maybe 20 minutes a pop, maybe, where I do the show, but I'm actually in character.
The triangle.
The triangle! That was a 4-second clip from the end of Lazzie's episode, and it was still one of the funniest things I got to make for that episode. The triangle, or the sphere. But yeah, those are my only two spin-off ideas that I've actually contemplated a good bit. Either the Cube After Dark or a version of the Cube where I'm in character and I'm talking to other cartoon characters. I feel like that would go over well if I had an animation team.
Question number 24 from Nicholas Does Art on Instagram.
Nicholas Does Art was the guy who was in the Punked Pooch episode. He was the guy with the pink hair. Radical dude, very good friend of mine. Makes some awesome work. What?
Which analog horror universe could you solo? Provide a full breakdown of how you could do it.
You're upset because you know I know a lot about analog horror, and this is going to take a while.
I'm upset because it's going to take a while. The first part mattered very little to me. Simply adding, provide a full breakdown of how you could do it, made me sad.
So, we're going to go through a list that I actually just have.
Oh, how convenient.
Of the analog horror things I watch to keep track. We're skipping out on the first analog horror thing I ever really enjoyed, which is Five Nights at Freddy's, because I don't feel like that should count.
Is that analog horror?
A lot of the fan stuff for it is.
You know what, that's fair. But I don't know if that itself counts as analog horror anymore.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would count maybe the first two, maybe.
Fair enough.
I could see you getting away with number 3. But I think once you hit 4, that's too much.
But we're regardless, even if we are counting it, I'm just going to say I'm pissing my pants immediately if I have to deal with these things.
Yeah, unless you're talking about his character.
No.
But if he's just talking about you, none of them.
If we're talking about Why Not Tuneish, I'm still pissing myself in fear, but I'm somehow gonna make it out alive. So, going through the list, I don't have these in any specific order, so I'm just going to explain why I die in most of these. The Walton Files. Stop me if you don't know any of these.
All right.
The Walton Files.
All right. So, what's that?
The Walton Files is basically one of the, if not the, very first parody of Five Nights at Freddy's, made for just analog horror videos.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure it follows mostly the same formula. It's been a while since I actually saw it. No, I'm dying. I'm straight up dying. Amanda the Adventurer.
Who's that?
Amanda the Adventurer was the horror game that plays off of only analog horror that mimics Dora the Explorer. Mainly, hey, none of us like giving the correct answers. Wouldn't that just piss her off? And then she comes out of the TV and slaughters you. It's this little girl who's possessed by demons, essentially, and trapped in a show. Even if I know the concept, I will not be able to stop myself from just jerking her around, basically. I'm gonna piss her off. The Bois Vert videos.
Who's that?
The Bois Vert videos are a list of videos by this guy who was really having a severe breakdown during the quarantine. That's not really much to survive against. It's just the expression of someone's mental state in some very horrific imagery. There's nothing to survive, so I don't want to count that. Let's see. Local 58.
Look, I feel like I'm just going to skip to the part where I tell you I don't know any of these.
Yeah, I know. This one I actually made you watch, though. No, I made Bear watch it.
No, I think I watched this one at some point. That does not mean I know anything about it.
Local 58. A lot. I'll go fast. Local 58. The moon is trying to kill us. What do you want me to do? There's nothing.
Well, obviously, I want you to beat the moon.
The back rooms.
Oh, well, I do know that one.
Yeah.
I liked it better when it was just a 4chan text thing.
Yeah. I'm not surviving in the back rooms. I will die to that monster.
You could survive in the original one.
Probably. But no, I don't do well in isolation. I promise you, before I even see the mold monster, I'm going to go insane. I'm going to start eating my skin.
You'd go insane, but like in the original one, there is no indication that there's actually a monster. Merely the observation that if there is something down there, it probably saw you first.
That's true.
And that was my favorite part about it. I liked that there was no actual guarantee that there was anything down there, other than maybe.
Yeah.
You were afraid, and it was whether or not your fear of being alone and being completely isolated in that overruled your fear of there being something completely unknown to you down there.
Right.
So you got to either face the idea. It's like the alien conundrum. There was a guy who, I don't know, like 100 years ago. Probably not that long, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
Who said that there are exactly two options when it comes to extraterrestrial life.
Either there is extraterrestrial life or there isn't, and both are equally terrifying.
The exact quote was, either we are alone in the universe or we are not. And both options are equally terrifying.
Very much.
And I think that the same rule applied to the original Backrooms.
Oh, absolutely.
Either you are completely isolated down there or you're not. And neither of those options are great.
I want you to know I am dragging you to see the Kane Pixels Backrooms movie.
That's so sad.
I'm dragging you to see it.
You're already dragging me to see the Looney Tunes movie.
Of course I am. I love Looney Tunes. QUB3 QUB3 is a preschool show where the main character is three-dimensional, alive, and kidnapping children. So long as I just answer him when he wants me to answer, I'm safe. Those kids are definitely dead. I can't do anything to save them. I'm sorry. I don't know what I would do.
All right, hold up. I'm going to stop you right there.
Yeah.
2 more. Pick 2, then we're moving on.
You know what? Is there any of these I can live through?
No, you got to pick ones, not that you would live through, but that you would beat.
Oh, okay, we're going to say QUB3 is one of them because I just wouldn't get kidnapped.
No. You got to
I can't beat QUB3.
Hands up, you got to give him a right hook to his jaw. Who you beating? What universe you soloing?
The Smile Tapes.
Smile Tapes?
The Smile Tapes is a disease that has gone on for many decades, about 20 years, that makes you immeasurably happy to the point you're psychotically enraged.
Interesting.
You're so happy that you are going to kill everything in your path. I already look like I suffer from that disease, but the main thing is they're apparently defeated with fire. You defeat the disease with fire. My first thought is immediately, of course, before even knowing they're defeated with fire, is to break out my everyday bottle of hairspray and a lighter and flamethrower everyone with the disease that comes near me. I feel like I survived the Smile Tapes. So there's your answer.
Question number 25. We're halfway there.
Yay.
My favorite question so far, because it is short, simple, sweet, to the point. Average artist on Instagram.
I love that guy. One of the that's sadly one of the people I can't really drag on this show. I want to. I'm considering it. But he draws suggestive art.
Favorite dinosaur?
Allosaurus.
Leopleurodon.
Actually, no. If no one gets that reference, I'm not telling you. No, I think my favorite dinosaur is a Velociraptor.
I'm 100%. I thought you were about to say a raccoon.
That's my favorite animal. The long since extinct trash panda, trash pandasaurus.
Moving on to number 26, Sketchit.art on Instagram/YouTube.
Very good friend of mine. He employs me now. I'm doing voice acting work for him.
That's cool.
It is cool. I want him on the show later.
Name 2 characters that would make the best duo for their own show. Different franchises.
That's hard.
Well, there's an obvious choice.
Yeah?
Right?
What's your answer?
Well, now, I may not like this choice specifically, but it was basically ordained by the creators themselves. Grunkle Stan and Edna. I think that was Edna, Eda
Clawthorne, and that's not that's canon.
Yeah, those are 2 different franchises, and they would make a great duo for their own show, as admitted by their creators. It's an easy out.
It is. I have to say, going back to an earlier question, that is my second least favorite show. The Owl House deeply disappointed me when it became nothing but fan fiction.
I said the same thing about Star vs. the Forces of Evil.
That also disappointed me when I never finished that.
Good.
I never finished the Owl House either. I couldn't. Every time I went there, I got miserable and disappointed. I felt like I walked in on my girlfriend cheating on me.
That's weird. That's a weird thing to say about cartoons.
I don't have a woman in my life. I don't have a woman in my life, and cartoons mean a lot to me. They're my special interest.
Why Not's contender for saddest thing ever said on YouTube.
I am probably one of the saddest people on YouTube.
I'm trying to think. Different franchises.
Well, I feel like one of them has to be a Muppet, just so we can throw things for a loop. So
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry. Wait, the Muppet Tim Curry from the bonus features of the Treasure Island movie.
Well, no, it's just Tim Curry.
It's just Tim Curry. Playing what? Can he just be the pirate?
Well, yeah, obviously.
The pirate Tim Curry. And you know what? I'm going to say...
Obviously Michael Caine from the Muppets Christmas movie.
Wait, so we have a pirate and
oh,
Scrooge.
Shoot, they're from the same franchise.
You know what? Just to make things really terrible.
So, obviously, Michael Caine, when he was Alfred from Batman.
Alfred from Batman. You know what? Sure. Alfred from Batman. Sure. I was just going to put together 2 ridiculous comic relief characters. So for my answer, we're going to go with Rigby the raccoon, just because he's a pain and he leads to a lot of problems.
Okay.
And I want him to have a good foil that would find him too irritating to be a main character.
Squidward?
We're going with Rigby and Squidward. One can't leave the water, one can't live in the water.
Well, Sandy got in the water.
That's true. I don't think...
And Squidward could leave the water.
This was supposed to be a good show, right? Was that the question?
No. Characters that would make the best duo for their own show.
Oh.
They didn't say the show had to be good.
It just had to be a good duo. I don't think I've chosen that at all.
Rigby and Squidward would be funny.
I don't have any better answers. We're going with Rigby and Squidward. Sorry, Sketchit. If that's not what you wanted to hear, it's what you're getting.
We got question number 27 from Startrick Starx on Instagram.
I don't know this. That might be Salazar. I'm going to say that's Salazar, and if it isn't, I'm sorry. No, it isn't. It isn't. That's someone else. That's a new follower I have.
Good on them. They're in a video now.
Yeah. Hey, congratulations, Star.
Favorite movie?
Okay, I did say this had 3 answers.
Number 1.
Number 1, The Mask, starring Jim Carrey.
You know what? I respect it.
That is the movie that led me to want to be an animator.
Ratatouille from Pixar.
I know that one also. That's
Yeah.
one of the things I always remember about you. It is your favorite movie.
Yep. It's a great movie, except for Emil and every part that he's in.
You did not like the fat rat brother.
I hate that stupid fat rat who
Dude.
only makes everything worse in that movie.
You realize if we were in that movie together, I'd probably be Emil.
See, here's the problem, is that you couldn't possibly be as bad as Emil, because at least 1 out of 10 times you do something right. Emil,
Ow, my feelings.
I said at least. I said at minimum 10% of the time you're doing it right.
Fair enough, I guess.
Emil literally never does anything right in that movie. Even the one time where he does something helpful, he does it wrong first.
That's right, the trunk scene. He smashes the wrong gargoyle. You know what? Yeah, that's fair. All right, moving on.
All right, number 28, Dom4_24 from Instagram asks, "Hello, Tuneish. How do you do?"
I don't think he said that.
I'm dyslexic. I've been trying really hard to cover that up. Dom, you've hurt my feelings. And I've taken this as a personal slight against me. So, for the actual way that this question is phrased, hello, Tuneish. Do you how do? I hate you.
That could not have been a better way for you to ask the question. Oh my god.
So I think we're going to go to the next question. And we're just going to put this one behind us.
You fine, how about?
Number 29, Salazar on Instagram.
There's Salazar. Oh yeah, Dom is biggest fan of the Sommerfelds. He's in the Sommerfeld group chat.
Lost OCs.
Doc can't count as one because he's not lost. I just don't draw him anymore.
Jake.
I was about to say Jake. Jake was one of the first characters I drew recurringly in middle school.
Yeah, he had like a really big nose.
He had a giant nose, and he was only ever seen from a half-on view.
Hillbilly Ghost. Ghost Billy?
Ho-Billy.
Ho-Billy.
He was not a ghost.
No, that was a different one.
Yeah, you're. I don't think I even have a drawing of Dan the Ghost.
You do. You have one drawing of Dan the Ghost.
It's
and it's
somewhere.
from when you drew all of those guys as enemies for a video game that we thought we would make at some point in our lives. Never.
Ho-Billy was just a hillbilly. We already brought up Mexican being the Canadian outlaw.
Yep.
Jake, he existed.
You had that ooze teacher.
I didn't. I don't have that drawing anymore.
I mean, it's in the same drawing that you have all of your other ones in.
It's somewhere, I'm sure. There was a Decider of Fate guy I drew whenever I just was mad about something or conflicted. Just a doodle. He was a shadow man inside a fortune teller's box.
No, he was in a slot machine.
He wasn't a slot machine. Thank you. Flash all those on screen now. Look at my terrible artwork from back then.
Assuming you could find it.
I'm positive I know where they are. They're somewhere in my closet.
I'm trying to think. Because technically speaking, Duke would be an OC.
Yeah, but he's not lost.
He's not lost.
And I don't have any drawings of him.
No, you don't.
I have the one from the intro.
That one's so bad.
I know.
I'm trying to think. I guess technically speaking, the only thing I have that really works as like a lost OC would be... So back when Steven Universe first started.
I remember this one.
I mean, first started.
I remember
I had an OC that I made because I really enjoyed the show.
You really did.
And he was supposed to be an army general who, after like years, because this is like right after the Peridot episode where they found out that there were still people who were active on Earth.
Yeah.
He was an army general who was sent back down to Earth to investigate further what like all that was about. Because when Peridot and Jasper went down, they never came back.
Yeah.
When he went there to their planet, his ship crashed and it cracked his gem and he lost all his memories.
Oh, that's neat.
And so he had to figure out who he was, what he was doing on that planet, He didn't know what any of his abilities were anymore, other than the fact that he could summon a weapon.
Did he know he was a rock?
He got the idea pretty quickly because there were others that he found on the planet.
Yeah, that's fair.
His name was Moissanite,
Moissanite.
which I got because the gemstone is only found in meteorites, which crash land on Earth.
That's clever.
I try to be.
One of my favorite things that you own is a signed picture from an old friend of ours who drew Lapis for you.
That is not who you think it was.
Who was it?
That was technically speaking, she was my first girlfriend.
Oh. Yeah.
You met her maybe once. Maybe.
I do remember her. Vaguely. That ended poorly. I do love that. I do still love that drawing.
It's an excellent drawing.
She was your favorite character.
She was my favorite character until they brought her back after the Malachite stuff. Then Peridot became my favorite character for a while, and then they sentenced her to the barn. So Jasper became my favorite character.
That changed. I remember this specifically because there was one Christmas I had to get you a gift. I was just like, I'll get him a Lapis Funko Pop. It's his favorite. Hey, Mouse, Lapis is, who's your favorite Steven Universe character? It was Lapis, right? No, after that thing happened, it was Peridot. Okay, Peridot. Almost immediately after that, it became Jasper, and I couldn't find a Jasper Funko Pop.
Rather unfortunate.
Moving on.
All right. Number 30 from Pifford19 on Instagram.
Another very big fan of the Summerfield. I think he was already here. Good friend of mine.
Did you play any video games when you were younger?
Almost none, because I didn't talk to many people. I was not a very social child. Did not learn about many video games. Did not have the money for many. I spent most of my time playing Mario games on my Nintendo DS. Oh, and Webkins.
Number 31 from Kiwi Violetta.
Very old subscriber of mine.
On Instagram.
Yeah.
Pick a movie, keep an actor, the rest are played by Muppets.
I like this question. The Empire Strikes Back. And we're going to say that Yoda stays the same. So that all of them are now Muppets.
Technically speaking, I don't think Yoda counted as a Muppet.
No, but I do feel like it works amazingly. You know what? No. Who's that? Who's a very ancillary character in that movie?
I don't know.
We're going to pick one of the soldiers that Vader chokes out. He gets to be normal. Everyone else in The Empire Strikes Back, I want them to be Muppets.
So, I'm gonna go with a weird one here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the first Transformers movie, but Megatron is the only one who's not a Muppet.
I like that so much better. All the other robots are.
Because then in the end of the movie, he gets beaten by Muppets.
That's awesome.
Let's see. Moving on to number 32, Bellabs Dream Lab on Instagram.
She was on an episode of The QUB. It hasn't released yet at the time of recording.
You should probably get on that.
I can't. It's been it's so hard making these episodes. I do plan on it. Very good friend of mine. Link in the description for her channel. Amazing person.
Least favorite song?
You know this one. Because it's one of your favorites.
Is it?
It is.
Give me a minute. Space Unicorn.
No. I love Space Unicorn flying through the sky. Traveling around the world. I love Perry.
Okay, well then that means it's...
I'm giving you 15 seconds on the clock.
Secrets.
No.
One of my favorites. That's a hard one. Because I don't know what my favorites are.
8 seconds, it's a techno song.
It's a Disco Pogo.
No.
Well, that was my 3 guesses.
Around the world,
right.
around the world.
That is so uncalled for, first of all. How can you not like that song?
It's so irritating, and every time you remind me of it, I don't remember that's what it's called for some reason, because I've blocked it out, and you start playing it again. Around the world. I don't like Around the World.
It's a perfect song. I don't know what you're talking about.
If it's not that, we're going with WAP by Cardi B. I don't like her music. She can't sing, and I don't respect her as a person. She's also got the intelligence of a hammer.
Hey.
That's not
Moving
even
on to number...
mentioning the song itself.
Moving on to number 33, Throwback, Dom4_24 from Instagram, once again. What's your favorite Universal Studios monster?
What?
I remember reading this one when I looked at all these the first time and going, he doesn't know any Universal Studios monsters.
Can I get an explanation? Frankenstein.
I don't think he's one, but let's
What
find
is
out.
a Universal Studios monster?
Well, obviously it's a monster made by Universal Studios. It's these guys.
Oh. I think Frankenstein is one of them. I'm pretty sure one of those is Dracula.
Yep,
We're going with Frankenstein.
Swamp Thing's pretty cool.
Oh,
or I guess technically it's not. It's the thing from the Black Lagoon or whatever.
I loved the Black Lagoon books as a kid. Do you remember those?
Vaguely.
I read like 17 of them. But yeah, we're going with Frankenstein, and I refuse to think further on the subject.
So number 34, Double C 2006 on Instagram.
I don't remember who that is. I'm very sorry.
What are your childhood cartoons? Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes was a very big one. Codename Kids Next Door, of course.
Kim Possible.
My Life as a Teenage Robot. I love My Life as a Teenage Robot.
My childhood cartoons was probably Pokemon Diamond and Pearl.
And I still haven't seen a full episode.
I mean, that's fair.
I was gonna say, if you felt hurt, I would trade you watching Codename Kids Next Door.
I'm not. You see, because here's the thing: if you trade me watching Codename Kids Next Door, then I got to make you watch Pokemon, not just Diamond and Pearl. So, that'd be an unfair trade. And as a businessman and
you
a
just
friend,
don't want to watch it.
Moving on to number 34, Double C. Oh no, Datboiguzma.
Datboiguzma. He's the one who recently reached 1,000 subscribers. Very good friend of mine. Proud of you, dude.
Number 35. My bad.
Oh.
I didn't scroll up that time.
Oops.
Yep. When will then be now? Later.
When now was later. When later is now.
Well, no, because then will be now.
Yeah.
So later can't be now.
Yeah, but now would be then.
Unless then is now.
Well, then there's your answer.
Number 36 from our good friend, Technically Animated from YouTube.
I remember this. 5 minutes before the countdown ended, he immediately sent in, 10?
Yep. Is there a particular animated series, movie, or character that influenced your style?
I feel like yes.
So I can answer this, whether you knew it or not.
Oh no, I feel like you have to answer this because I'm too close to it.
You were, I'm not going to say are, but were heavily influenced by the CalArts art style when you first started your animation style.
I can remember those doodles. I think you're right.
Because I remember you explicitly taking your style from somebody else's animated project.
Oh my god, I forgot about that!
And that project was made for CalArts.
Oh my god!
You gonna just keep making sounds, or?
Well, no, I just, a lot of information just hit me all at once. I remember the video.
Yep.
I remember the artist.
Yep.
That artist was a big influencer.
Yep.
For me.
Yes.
He was very small.
Yep.
I can't discuss him on this channel.
That's so?
I'm not going to say who it is.
Okay.
Because not only does it hurt me, hurt my feelings deep down, he does not do good things anymore. We're going to leave it at that.
What a shame.
He didn't make the greatest stuff on YouTube. He wasn't that great of an animator, but he's the one who made me really want to try, you know? He now makes undesirable things that I can't even mention on this channel.
So then we're going to skip right on to number 37. Also from Technically Animated from YouTube. If you could collaborate with any other creator, who would it be and why? Well, me, obviously.
I have like 30 different answers for this, and I can't remember a single name.
That's because they're all me.
There are actually a bunch of like really cool animated YouTubers I'd love to get to meet one day, love to collab with. My goal is to have as many animated people on this show as I possibly can once this show finally gets bigger, you know?
I mean, that's certainly a dream.
Yeah. Hang on. I can remember one name. I just have to look this up really quick. Just Stop. That guy is a video essay man. Very poignant, very thoughtful. I'd love to hang out with him one day. I'll show you some of his videos later.
Maybe at some point. I feel like it'd be really cool to see somebody like Ice Cream Sandwich or Bird on this channel. I feel like somebody who also is very ridiculous would really be
a good bounce back for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I think that both of them are just out there enough.
I don't remember Bird. They're both being flashed on screen right now.
They used to be my favorite like animated YouTubers before I stopped watching YouTube.
Fair enough. All right, moving on.
Let's see. Number 38 from Technically Animated on YouTube. What is your dream project or something you hope to create someday? We answered this earlier.
Second run.
Yeah, second run. If I were to answer, I can go down. You know, I don't have to make that studio. If I can make one of my shows, if I could do one of my shows, I think I'd be happy.
Yeah.
And while I'm not entirely sure which one I would want, currently the one in the lead is probably Outlanders.
I like that one.
Outlanders is a show that I made that features a retired treasure hunter in space and a stowaway little girl who knows just a bit more than your average person about spaceships.
It's a good classic dynamic.
It is a classic dynamic, and I feel like I was able to do it justice in the pilot script that I wrote for it.
Yeah, I remember reading it.
No, you don't.
I remember reading the beginning half.
You remember reading the outline.
Yeah. You haven't shown me the main one. I feel hurt now.
Well, unfortunately, I need to finish it.
Yeah. But no, from the outline you gave me, I like it.
It is a really fun show. Honestly, I think out of all of my shows, it's my favorite.
Putting it in space means you have a lot more potential for episodes. There are no more rules.
Well, there's still going to be rules.
Yeah.
But there's certain episodes that I have thought of. Technically Animated helped me come up with a few of them.
He's good for that.
That I would love to see them put on the screen, even if it's the small screen. There's also that movie that I tried to write that one time. That was pretty good. Anybody was a good idea.
I still want that more than any of your other projects. I'm gonna be real. That's a good idea.
I've never written a movie before. I'm having a hard time.
You'll figure it out. You just have to procrastinate a little more. That is how this works.
But anyway, so we're going to move on to number 39 from Technically Animated on YouTube. What is your favorite part of the animation process? Planning, sketching, or coloring?
I do like the coloring phase, honestly, in designing characters to be animated. But sketching just helps me get a better flow of ideas out.
As somebody who definitely totally animates all the time, I'm going to say the planning part is my favorite because it's the part that doesn't require pen to meet paper.
Fair enough.
Okay. Question number 40. 10 left after this one. Technically Animated from YouTube asks, did you expect to reach 100 subscribers this quickly?
No.
And by this quickly, he means over the course of 3 years?
I think he might be referring to the fact that my New Year's resolution for 2024 was to reach 100 by the end. Now, admittedly, I started with 40 this year.
60 subscribers in a year is a pretty big leap.
Yeah, it is.
That is an over 100% increase.
Yeah, especially it's especially big for me because it took me a while to acquire those. I thought it was a reasonable goal. I didn't really expect it, and I went over. The year isn't even over by the time we're recording this, and I've actually gone up, not 60, I've gone up by 83.
So you're at 183 now?
No. I've 83 in total.
Ah,
I had about 40, give or take a few numbers. No, give a few numbers. At the time of recording, I'm about 118.
that's nice.
It is. And I'm just, look, this is huge for me. I know it's not big compared to mainline YouTubers. Guys, I can't tell you how much I appreciate the overwhelming support you've given me. I hope you guys stick around for as long as I'm here, and I hope to entertain you more. All right, moving on.
Number 41 from Technically Animated on YouTube. What's your favorite video on your channel so far?
That's hard.
That is hard because I don't remember most of the videos on your channel. I'll tell you what the favorite video on my channel is. Right? And that is the only video I have never posted, which is any of them.
Let's see. I'm going to ask you for a ruling on this.
Okay.
Can I break this down into sections?
Maybe.
I'd like to break this down into categories specifically.
How many categories?
Maybe a maximum of 3.
Make it 2.
I can make it 2. My favorite live action video I've made is probably Freelance.
Freelance was a good one. I helped out with that video.
You helped out with almost the entirety of it. We shot the entire thing on my birthday.
That was a really sad way to spend your birthday, now that I think about it.
It was, look, we didn't do anything else.
You should have asked. I'd have taken you to eat somewhere.
It was late, man. We spent all day filming. But I really enjoyed it. Freelance is a very relatable thing that actually fits in with the Cure-All files. The live-action, creepy, modern interpretation of analog horror series I hope to make.
No, at that point, I think it's cassette horror.
Yeah, cassette horror. It's a cassette horror I hope to make successfully.
If I remember correctly, a lot of yours were on tapes.
Yeah. They're all supposed to be files, specifically. Like video files.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're the most modern form of whatever it is. As for episode of the Cube, though, I think it might be my Punk to Pooch episode.
Oh, yeah?
I got to interview people who made an indie pilot, and I got a lot of recognition for that episode. I actually got maybe 20 subscribers from that episode, now that I think about it.
Well, that's good.
It is. People enjoyed it.
I think my favorite episode of The Cube is probably going to be your 100 subscriber special.
Because you're in it.
And I am the best guest.
You're not going to watch it either. You lived it.
I might watch it. I might see how you edited it, you know?
Yeah, fair enough.
Because there's a lot of bits here where we rambled a bit. And
yeah.
I imagine a few of that's going to be cut down.
Less than you think.
That's certainly one way to put it. We will have been recording for 2 hours here shortly.
Yeah.
So to hear that almost none of it's going to be cut is...
My man, I edit out a maximum of maybe 8 or 10 minutes. And
now,
those are from my worst shot episodes.
Well, now double that, and that's about what you'll cut from this one.
Maybe 20 minutes? You think it's going to be an hour and 40 minutes long?
Maybe. I don't know.
Moving on. Where were we?
Number 42 from Technically Animated on YouTube. Have any specific artists or animators influenced your style?
You answered that one for me.
I did. Just a little bit ago, too.
Is there anything else we can attribute it to? I feel like I gained a lot of experience for
you know
how
what?
to draw.
There was that brief stint in which you drew in Minecraft style.
I did for a while, didn't I?
Yep.
I drew little doodle comics in the margins of my paper, where I just remade animated tidbits from YouTube, but significantly worse.
You know, something I will say that influenced your art style is when you had a very limited amount of options on how to make art, you did a lot of it on Google Draw. I
did.
And your limitations there influenced your art a lot.
It actually did. I created a very unique art style using Google Art. I'm going to flash more of that stuff on there. I just remembered another canceled OC, and it's fitting that I forgot him. It was Simple Sam.
Ah.
The world's most depressing man.
I remember Simple Sam.
You remember Guy Broman.
I remember Simple Sam. I'm pretty sure Guy Broman may have been one of my ideas.
I think... No, Guy Broman
I think I named him.
You did name him. But Guy Broman came from a joke of just like cracking open a fortune cookie and just like, love thy neighbor. He's doing much better than you. The entire concept concept for those two characters came from a fortune cookie joke. I'm never doing anything with Simple Sam. I'm sorry. You may or may not get to hear anything about him ever again.
I feel like Simple Sam could always be one of those, like,
background characters.
well, no, like your actual characters are reading like the Sunday comics.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, that's Tuneish's favorite comic strip. It's the Simple Sam comic. Moving on.
So, moving on to number 43, technically animated from YouTube asks, who would you say is South Park's most notable character? Butters, Randy, or Cartman?
All right, we're gonna do this.
So I think that the correct option is not listed on here. I think Kenny is the most notable character in South Park
because he died over 100 times.
I think the "you killed Kenny" meme, it far surpassed the actual grasp of South Park's, fans.
You remember back when I was first writing a script, starting to write any script, and you said, in order to make it a good show, one of your main characters has to die in the first episode.
Now, I don't remember saying that specifically.
You did. You absolutely did.
But it would not surprise me if I said that.
You said that a lot, in fact, having never really cared enough to watch South Park. Kenny is the most morally good character on the show. Now, that's surprising, considering all that Kenny is.
I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of South Park.
I have.
I know.
I've binged it repeatedly. We're going to cut Butters out of the contender because I respect the little guy. He fought for his right to be one of the main characters and earned himself a 5th slot in the main character lineup. Very proud of that.
Oh.
As much as Randy has taken over the show in the last 10 years, I'm still going to say Cartman. You will never get any better than the most evil child in cartoon history. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm going with Cartman.
Interesting choice, but I can see it.
Yeah.
So,
my favorite character.
Going to number 44 from Technically Animated on YouTube, asking, the creators of Futurama have claimed that Bender is based on the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz. How well do you think they did?
I would like a ruling mouse. I would like rules set in place is what I mean.
Okay.
I want you to decide, are we talking character-wise or design-wise?
Design-wise. Definitely design-wise. There's zero way they based the character, action off of the Tin Man.
I want a heart with blackjack and hookers. You know what? Forget the heart.
I think that they did an okay job if that was the goal.
If that was the goal, I give it a solid 84%. That's a solid B average in my line. Yeah.
All right, number 45 from Technically Animated on YouTube, putting Why Not on full blast. Tuneish, did you watch any of the shows I recommended you?
You recommended me shows.
And there's your answer. Moving on to number 46 from fan favorite returning for a third time, Dom4_24 from Instagram. Who is your favorite Summerfield?
Edison. He doesn't get used enough. He's a damn good dad, and he reminds me of mine.
And I'm going to stick number 47 from the same person in the same area. Why?
Not Tuneish.
All right. So, number 48, SeveredBean on Instagram. Is there a show that you love that everyone else hates?
SeveredBean is a very good friend of mine.
I've got an answer for this one.
You've got your answer or my answer?
Personally.
Okay.
I was a huge fan of the Stretch Armstrong cartoon on Netflix.
Stretch Armstrong had a cartoon?
And that's what I'm talking about, all right?
What?
So, not only does nobody know what the Stretch Armstrong cartoon on Netflix was, but the people who do know, I've never heard anybody actually say that it was any good. And I thought it was a great show. It got 2 seasons, deserved a 3rd. They didn't finish any of the stuff that they started. This is a completely unjustified cancellation of a show.
Okay. That's... Wow, I'm amazed you just had that ready.
I really enjoyed that cartoon.
Oh, more power to you. That's impressive. I'm glad you have that, Mouse.
What, a show that I liked that got canceled and everyone hates?
Yes.
That's very rude of you to say.
My gosh, that's actually really hard. I have shows that I don't like that everyone loves. I've brought them up already. Jeez. Because the thing is, I try and watch just about everything, you know?
Yep.
I give everything a chance. You know what? I remember it having a very good appeal. I know some people have said online that it was canceled way too soon, despite the fact it ran for 7 seasons. But I know a lot of people really, really didn't like it. I'm going to say Super Jail.
I don't know that one.
Super Jail was Adult Swim's best animated cartoon, in my opinion, for a lot of reasons.
Over Clone High.
Yeah, I'm going over Clone High.
That's
you know what?
Wild statement to hear from you. I've always thought Clone High was your favorite Adult Swim thing.
Actually, you know what? No, my favorite Adult Swim is definitely
Venture Bros.
Venture Brothers, yes. But no, yeah, I'm definitely going to say that a show I love, everyone else didn't really like that much, is going to have to be Super Jail.
Starting back up at number 49 from SeveredBean on Instagram, what are some of the worst shows you have watched?
I feel like I've already listed them.
Well, then I've got...
Oh, wait, I have more.
You have more?
I have more. So, as I've said already, I try and give everything a chance. Fourth worst show I've ever seen, Neighbors from Hell. It had some potential at some point on paper. It was not a good show. I see why it got canceled immediately after a season. The top 3 spots, however, go to the guys who made Brickleberry. I watched that the first time around while in a...
Let me get this straight, sir. Are you giving Brickleberry number 1, 2, and 3?
No, I'm giving the creators of Brickleberry a third spot, Paradise PD.
Okay.
Only one of their shows that was remotely good. Solid B-. Okay, it had a plot, and I actually cared about most of the characters. Number 2 spot, Brickleberry. First time I ever watched any of their shows. I watched it the first time in a sickly delirium and figured, no, I watched the first time when I was still medicated for ADD. So I was a buzzkill. And I figured, you know what? I'm off my pills now. I want to see, was it really as bad as I remember? Yes. I laughed one time. I smirked one time. And that was in season 3. The talking bear, Malloy, was with a group of Native Americans. They're just like, I am Chief Talking Bear. I knew his father in woods. That made me smirk. And that's it. Number 1 worst one, the Netflix one, Farzar. God-awful show. Hated every character. Wanted them all to die from episode 1. Terrible. What's your answer?
So there are 2 shows that I hate. All right. Now, I will admit, maybe this isn't quite what everybody was wondering about this one. But both of them are anime.
Fair enough.
Because they were awful. They were terrible, terrible anime that I watched. My number 1 least favorite is got to be Dances with Dragons.
I don't know that one, of course.
There are some unspeakable things that happen in that anime.
I want to know it even less now.
And then they had the audacity, the gall, to tell the guy who was trying to get revenge on the guy who did those unspeakable acts that he was the bad guy and that what he was doing was wrong.
That is messed up, and I hate it.
And then when he did get his revenge, they killed him the very next episode.
What?
And unceremoniously, I will add.
Just revenge destroy. That's the plot of Hamlet. Revenge destroys.
See, here's the thing is that his revenge isn't what destroyed him. He just was unceremoniously killed off screen by not even our main characters, just a random mob of people.
That's stupid.
Who then left his dead body outside of the city.
I accept your hatred.
The other one that I hated was a show called King's Game, which was an immaculate form of storytelling that really pulled all of the strings to make me wildly uncomfortable the entire time, and then ended beautifully, only to then have an end credit sequence that ruined all of it by saying it was all pointless.
That's a dumb way to end anything.
And that's why it gets my number 2 slot, because it was a fantastic show, and if it weren't for those last 10 seconds, it would probably be in one of my favorites.
Okay, so guys, I guess for this episode, I'm gonna want you to go back and watch all of those shows we mentioned.
Don't watch them. Don't watch them. Don't watch them. If you are not, if, I cannot state this enough. If you are not above the age of 18, do not watch the shows I mentioned.
Okay. I guess that's definitely a warning you should take not lightly. Moving on. What question are we on?
We're on question number 50. Last and final question. Also from SeveredBean on Instagram. Have you ever watched the Sonic OVA movie?
I haven't even watched the second Sonic movie from 2 years ago.
I don't know what the Sonic OVA movie is.
I'm assuming it's one of the animated films. I heckled my way through one of the Sonic animated films. I genuinely could not tell you which one it was.
I have pulled up a picture of these. I think this is the card for the OVA movie previously mentioned. I haven't watched it personally.
This was the movie I heckled my way through.
So the answer to your question is yes, he did watch it.
I just didn't remember because I wasn't paying attention. I spent my entire time bugging an old friend of mine who I'm not even fully in contact with anymore. I made him mad. I'm not going to lie to you. Yes, I have watched it. I don't remember any part of it. I remember specifically going on a 10-minute discussion about does Knuckles fly or does he glide? Because both are very confusing.
But that does it for our 100 subscriber special. I've been Mouse, and this is Why Not.
I exit this show, and that's not how I do it. Guys, I want to thank you for joining us here for just over, or right at, depending on how I edit this, I guess, 2 hours of this. This is the length of 2 episodes. My God.
That's because I am the best guest, and I deserve the most episode.
Yeah. You know what? This is fitting, because I've been trying to get you on here for about 10 episodes now, and I finally succeeded. Mouse, do you want to tell anyone, I wouldn't say where they could find you, but
I have an Instagram and a YouTube. Not that I am active on either of them.
You got 200 subscribers
I got
in 2 weeks.
I got 125, I'll have you know.
In a week.
I'm really good at this social media thing. It's a shame that I just don't care.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead and get me up to 100 subscribers too, just to mess with Why Not.
You know what? Yeah, go subscribe to him. I'll link him in the description below too, along with everyone else with an Instagram or YouTube page. Sorry to all the rest of you. I don't know where else to link you.
Well, they all had an Instagram or a YouTube, except for that one guy who sent an email. So I think you should link his email.
I won't be doing that to you, but buddy, thank you so much for sending it into email. That was hilarious. I loved that. That was very clever. You know what? Do you want to give a little hint, not even hint, a little preview of what we're eventually going to be doing together on my channel?
I think we'd be better off just leaving that for now.
Fair enough. You know, he's going to be in a regular news series that I make very soon, hopefully.
Hopefully I'll be a regular.
I hope you will. You're one of the 2 main characters.
Well, I was supposed to be the first guest, but this isn't exactly episode 1 now, is it?
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Oh my goodness! But Mouse, thank you so much for doing this with me. I'm so glad. You don't know how excited I've been.
I'm glad to be here. Honestly, I may not be big on the whole YouTube scene, but I do enjoy doing these things with my friends. I've done a few videos with Technically Animated, so you'll be able to hear me speaking more in videos such as, I believe, his Dungeons and Dragons video. He had me on as we talked about some of our previous D&D games.
You insulted me in that one.
I did insult you in that one. I'm very unapologetic about that.
I accept it. I immediately lost the game for us. Oh my goodness.
It was rather humorous.
It was. I did a Leroy Jenkins.
But I do believe that's everything that I have to say. If I ever actually post anything on YouTube, I'm sure you'll hear it from Why Not.
I absolutely will. I'll be like, hey, he finally posted his first video, and he's already over 100 subscribers. Before we close out, I'd like to give a very special thank you to everyone listening at home, and a big thank you to everyone who sent in questions. This was a nightmare to plan. It was hell to record, and I loved every last minute of it.
You know, if it weren't so late, because I told you before that I plan to interject my own questions in between all of these.
Yeah.
I didn't do that this time because it's been over 2 hours since we started recording.
And it's very late. It's almost your scheduled end of the day.
My end of the day happened half an hour ago.
Yeah. You know what? How about this? Next time you're on the Cube, you ask all the questions.
I did that this time.
Yeah, I know. Well, let's make it a regular thing. Interject your own questions.
So I'll try and be on another time as an actual guest rather than just a co-host.
Yeah, but you guys are why I make these videos happen, why I put in the long hours that I do. Please remember to like the video, share it to friends, subscribe to tell me you want more episodes, and ring the bell so you're notified when I upload. As you all know, I'm not very good at keeping consistent with that, though I do try. Your homework for the episode, I want you to go follow all the Instagram and YouTube accounts that were shown in this video. Go give them some love. They're pretty much all great friends of mine.
And write an ASMR script for me to read. That's also homework now.
Everyone who does that will get read on my show at some point. I will force Mouse to read them.
That'll be an evening.
It will be. We will make that a video if you do it. Please put it in the comments now. Oh my god. But as always, I've been Why Not, he's been Mouse, and this has been the 100 subscriber episode for the Cube. Good night, everybody.
See ya.